Chapter 1134. Wildly absorbing the nine-colored fire lotus. What Lin Moyu had in mind was not passive defense but active offense. He had already lured out the fire lotus spirits, and in his soul world, his soul body was well prepared. Just as the fire lotus spirits entered the soul world and before they could attack the soul world, Lin Moyu struck first. The fire lotus spirits were just beams of light. If you think they are swords, they will become swords. If you think they are blades, they will become blades. This is the nature of spirit bodies. They can transform into various objects based on your thoughts, having no fixed form. Lin Moyu didn't imagine them as anything specific. His only thought was to directly extinguish them. The talent giant tree shot out countless branches like whips, lashing towards the fire lotus spirits.
Slash!
Lin Moyu's soul body let out a light shout, and the soul-severing sword flew out, slashing at the fire lotus spirits. As a top-grade deity treasure, the soul-severing sword's might was tremendous, especially now that Lin Moyu had reached the true god third stage. His soul power had greatly increased, allowing the soul-severing sword to unleash even greater power than before. Sword light flashed, and two fire lotus spirits were extinguished before they could even attack. The branches of the talent giant tree entangled three other fire lotus spirits and pulled forcefully, directly tearing them into shreds. Lin Moyu's actions were too fast. The remaining four fire lotus spirits only started attacking Lin Moyu's soul world at this moment. However, the crystal shield outside the soul world firmly blocked the fire lotus spirits' attacks. The talent giant tree and soul-severing sword struck again. In just a few moves, the remaining four fire lotus spirits were also killed. The previously raging nine-colored fire lotus suddenly fell silent. Zhu Qiwu was slightly stunned, realizing that Lin Moyu had dealt with the fire lotus spirits. Although he didn't know how Lin Moyu did it, Lin Moyu had indeed accomplished it.
Truly a wondrous monster.
In Zhu Qiwu's evaluation of Lin Moyu, he added the word
wondrous
before
monster.
From a monster, Lin Moyu was upgraded again to a
wondrous monster.
On the other side, deity Qishui was completely shocked, unable to believe it.
How did he do that?
Zhu Qiwu chuckled but didn't explain, because he didn't know how Lin Moyu did it either. Regardless of how Lin Moyu had done it, Zhu Qiwu looked at Lin Moyu sitting on the nine-colored fire lotus and said,
after dealing with the fire lotus spirits, he should start absorbing it now. I wonder how he will absorb it.
How to absorb it? Lin Moyu thought, just absorb it directly. His soul opened its mouth and took a huge breath. At the same time, the nine-colored dragon soul crystal in his soul let out a dragon's cry, as if resonating with his soul. The nine-colored fire lotus was immediately absorbed into his body and appeared in the soul world. Deity Qishui shuddered violently.
He swallowed it all at once. But that's the nine-colored fire lotus accumulated over tens of thousands of years, with immense energy. Guardian Zhu, didn't you warn him to be careful?
Zhu Qiwu seemed a bit helpless.
Young people like to show off a bit. Let him be.
Let him be. For such a life-threatening matter, he was just letting it be? The energy accumulated over tens of thousands of years, if unleashed in an instant, could blast a god king into pieces, shattering both his bones and soul. Moreover, deity Qishui shuddered again and stared with wide eyes. Lin Moyu was only at the third stage of the true god realm. This defied the laws. Deity Qishui opened his mouth a few times but couldn't say anything. He was rendered speechless. Zhu Qiwu's eyes also held a strange look. He thought to himself,
this guy is a monster. You can't judge him by common sense. With 2 primordial runes to ascend, he should be, maybe fine.
Zhu Qiwu was a bit indecisive. After all, what was happening before his eyes was something even he had never seen before. Not just seen, he had never even heard of it. The nine-colored fire lotus entered Lin Moyu's soul world and immediately began to collapse, as if about to explode. Lin Moyu had anticipated this. His soul power surged, and the spell planets, strengthen soldiers, and gather power, flew over and directly collided with the nine-colored fire lotus. The two spell planets were like receiving a treasure, greedily absorbing the power from the nine-colored fire lotus. The originally explosive nine-colored fire lotus suddenly became quiet and stable. Lin Moyu's soul power calmly followed, splitting into two and pouring in without reservation. Since he didn't need to worry about the external blue flames harming him, Lin Moyu didn't need to consider defense. All his soul power could be used for spell ascension. The two spell planets absorbed the surface power of the nine-colored fire lotus. When the surface power was mostly absorbed, the core power within began to reveal itself. Within the core power, Lin Moyu sensed a trace of laws, a familiar feeling.
A stellar fire seed?
The power of the nine-colored fire lotus was somewhat similar to that of a stellar fire seed. He recalled the appearance of a stellar fire seed when it blossomed after maturing, and it did seem like a lotus flower. Lin Moyu immediately understood. The nine-colored fire lotus was the mature form of a stellar fire seed, or even an upgraded version of a stellar fire seed, with greater effects. At this moment, Lin Moyu had full confidence in ascending his spells. He felt that this time there should be no problem. Even spells from the primordial rune could ascend to the stellar level. What others could do, he could definitely do as well. Full of confidence, Lin Moyu poured in soul power recklessly. His soul power began to leak out in wisps, which were sensed by those outside. Deity Chishui felt a tinge of envy.
Such pure soul power.
Although Lin Moyu was only at the True God third stage with soul power at the same level, his soul was extremely pure, of extremely high quality. The soul power leaking out could match 3 or 4 times the power of others. To Deity Chishui, the feeling was one of purity, an almost perfect purity. Lin Moyu's soul vaguely revealed itself, a jade-colored soul with a tinge of purple.
A jade soul turning purple. It's really a jade soul turning purple.
Zhu Qiwu shuddered, appearing somewhat excited. A jade soul turning purple was very important, the foundation for further progress after reaching the peak of the deity realm. Without achieving a jade soul turning purple, all other efforts would be in vain. Lin Moyu's weight in Zhu Qiwu's heart grew heavier. He looked at Deity Chishui, and a hint of killing intent flashed in his eyes. Deity Chishui immediately sensed this killing intent and quickly said,
I will make a great world oath. I will absolutely not reveal a single word about today's events.
Deity Chishui was an old fox who had lived for tens of thousands of years. How could he not understand Zhu Qiwu's meaning? If it was an ordinary genius, it wouldn't matter. Every race had a few top geniuses. But if a freak appeared, surpassing even top geniuses, then he must be carefully protected. Zhu Qiwu would definitely not let today's events leak out.
My apologies, Senior Chishui. I had no choice.
Deity Chishui resolutely made a great world oath. Seeing the oath sphere explode, Zhu Qiwu finally felt reassured. Then Zhu Qiwu's gaze fell on Deity Chishui's descendant.
Senior Chishui, may I?
Deity Chishui nodded, though a bit helpless but with no choice. Zhu Qiwu pointed at the young man, and a strange force entered the young man's body. The young man shuddered and fell motionless. Of course, Zhu Qiwu didn't kill him but only erased his recent memories. This would inevitably damage his soul, but at least he would survive. Zhu Qiwu didn't care about the Great World Oath at the True God Realm. What if the other party was willing to sacrifice a True God Realm to obtain information about Lin Moyu? It wasn't impossible. To any race, the True God Realm was just a low-level force. But a 9th-stage deity like Deity Chishui was completely different. Zhu Qiwu understood, and Deity Chishui understood as well, both tacitly aware of the situation. 1135, 1135. Chapter 1135. Successful Ascension, the Origin of the Primordial Bird. Lin Moyu absorbed the 9-colored fire lotus in an almost barbaric manner, disregarding reason and cost. His actions seemed to have completely enraged the 9-colored fire lotus. The 9-colored fire lotus, a supreme treasure nurtured by the blue flame star, contained the essence of the blue flame star and possessed immense power. Using a method akin to boiling a frog in warm water, one would try to avoid provoking the nine-colored fire lotus. However, Lin Moyu did not follow this approach. He first decisively extinguished the fire lotus spirits and then almost tore the fire lotus in half, displaying extreme barbarity. Although this method could preserve most of the fire lotus's power, it would also trigger the most violent counterattack from the fire lotus and the blue flame star. The blue flame star began to boil, with intense flames rising from its core, and waves of fire surged towards Lin Moyu, attempting to burn him to ashes. Lin Moyu completely ignored the damage caused by the flames. Pure high temperatures were useless against him. The nine-colored fire lotus also ignited the soul world, and it was on the verge of exploding. However, the arrival of the two spell planets, Strengthen Soldiers and Gather Power, quickly absorbed the violent power of the nine-colored fire lotus, preventing it from self-destructing. The power of the nine-colored fire lotus was rapidly devoured until its core, containing the most mysterious law, was revealed. This law contained a special source power, which was the core of the spell's ascension. At the same time, this law also contained the final resistance of the nine-colored fire lotus. The soul began to burn unknowingly. This time, it was different from the high temperature brought by the flames. The soul-burning fire was caused by the law and could not be completely immune.
Hard fire!
The soul was under attack, but Lin Moyu's thoughts remained clear. Like the young man from the scaled subhuman race before, he was also under attack from the heart fire. Heart fire starts from the soul. If it cannot be resisted, it will spread throughout the body, causing unimaginable damage to both the soul and the physical body. Even a god king could be burned to ashes. However, heart fire was of little use to Lin Moyu. First, his talent and spells combined to form a 360,000-fold damage reduction, followed by another threefold reduction, and then the damage was shared by the undead army. At this time, the number of undead in the army had greatly increased, so the damage each undead had to bear was minimal. Lin Moyu had calculated that it would be difficult for a first or second stage god king to injure him. A third stage god king might be able to injure him, but killing him was still impossible. To truly kill him, at least a fifth or even sixth stage god king would be needed. As his realm improved and his spells converted to stellar level, his defense increased even more than his attack power. Lin Moyu felt that his profession was truly like an indestructible cockroach. It was impossible for someone of the same level to kill him.
Hard fire. It's hard to even hurt me. It's nothing.
The soul allowed the heart fire to burn, and Lin Moyu ignored it, continuing to absorb the nine-colored fire lotus with all his might. The counterattack of the nine-colored fire lotus had no effect, and the two major spells, Strengthen Soldiers and Gather Power, began to divide and absorb the core power of the nine-colored fire lotus like treasure hunters. In just 5 minutes, the core power of the nine-colored fire lotus, containing the mysterious law, was quickly divided and absorbed. The petals of the nine-colored fire lotus also began to collapse. The 9 petals transformed into 9 halos of red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple, black, and white, surrounding the 2 spell planets, Strengthen Soldiers and Gather Power. The 2 spell planets, like twin stars, hung brightly in the soul world. Finally, the 9 halos were completely absorbed by the 2 spell planets, and the 9-colored fire lotus was thoroughly devoured. The heart fire also extinguished at this moment. The 2 spell planets had completely turned into fireballs, entering their final stage, beginning their formal ascension to stellar level. From beginning to end, Lin Moyu continuously poured soul power into them. And now, at this final step, the infusion of soul power became even more frantic, regardless of the cost. The talent giant tree swayed wildly, with numerous branches extending to entwine Lin Moyu's soul, providing a large amount of soul power for replenishment. The 9-colored dragon soul crystal also emitted a loud dragon roar, spitting out extremely pure soul power to replenish Lin Moyu's consumption. Finally, the 2 spell planets, filled with soul power, exploded in a brilliant blaze. The firelight illuminated the entire soul world, making it shine brightly. Lin Moyu had been watching them closely, and at the moment of their ascension to stellar level, he once again saw the scene behind the black hole, seeing the true form of the Great World Rune. But this time, the black hole did not appear. In the firelight, another scene unfolded. Lin Moyu saw an enormous bird flying from the depths of the starry sky. Its size was infinite, with stars appearing as tiny as dust before it. Even galaxies were insignificant. Its wings spread wide enough to cover several galaxies. Its size could no longer be measured in kilometers. Only light years could describe its magnitude. Yes, it had to be measured in light years. Millions or tens of millions of kilometers were too small.
This is the primordial bird.
Lin Moyu was shocked, realizing its identity. This was the primordial bird, a powerful creature containing the source power of the great world. Its wings flapped, capable of destroying galaxies. A single screech could collapse star rivers. Its power was beyond words. In its presence, even a deity was like an ant. Lin Moyu watched it fly across the starry sky at a speed surpassing light, passing through one galaxy after another. Due to its immense power, the galaxies it passed by experienced great chaos. Stars collided and galaxies were nearly destroyed. The galaxies blocking its path were directly destroyed by it. Stars exploded violently, appearing like small fireworks before it, insignificant. It flew on, destroying countless stars and causing the deaths of innumerable beings. Its eyes were cold and merciless, viewing the countless beings in the great world as less than ants. Until one day it was stopped by several terrifying powerhouses. These powerhouses, shrouded in darkness and covered in black flames, were indistinguishable in appearance and race. All that was known was that they were incredibly strong. They fought the primordial bird, shattering star rivers and collapsing worlds. The battle lasted a long time, and the primordial bird, which had killed countless beings, finally met its retribution. Its blood spilled across the starry sky, and its essence blood was extracted, transforming into the 9 words of truth, which were then converted into the primordial rune. Its body was eternally sealed, its whereabouts unknown. The scene ended here, and consciousness returned to reality. Lin Moyu realized that the previous scene was a memory from the primordial bird. It revealed the origin of the primordial rune. When the primordial bird was killed, its essence blood was extracted and refined into the 9 words of truth. An invincible powerhouse transformed the 9 words of truth into the primordial rune. There are only 9 words of truth, but there are more than 9 primordial runes. Each primordial rune contains only a small amount of source power. A true powerhouse, upon obtaining the primordial rune, can trace the source and, using the primordial rune as a foundation, re-evolve the 9 words of truth. This is the true essence of the primordial rune spell. 1136 1136 Chapter 1136 Lifting Restrictions, Greatly Increasing Strength. The book ascended to a stellar level spell, feeding back a large amount of soul power. Lin Moyu's aura continuously strengthened, rising in the blue sea of fire. Lin Moyu's realm broke through again, shattering the barrier of the True God 3rd stage and entering the True God 4th stage. As his realm improved, the heart of flame thumped continuously, releasing even more powerful blood flow, enhancing his physical body. Lin Moyu had no time to pay attention to the changes in his realm and physical body. His consciousness was immersed in the soul world, looking at the 2 brand new stars hanging in the soul world. They were like twin stars, attracting each other, revolving around each other, inseparable. Lin Moyu knew that they both originated from the primordial bird, so it was normal for them to attract each other due to their common origin.
Unfortunately, my strength is still too weak to trace back to the source.
Lin Moyu was well aware of the immense power of the 9 words of truth. He was still far from that level. At this moment, he recalled the scene he had seen in the primordial secret realm, the overwhelming scent of blood, and the primordial bird that seemed dead but was still bleeding. In the recent scene, the body of the primordial bird was missing, seemingly taken by a powerful being. Old memories surged, and Lin Moyu was startled.
Could it be that the old man riding the green ox took the body of the primordial bird?
The primordial bird was incredibly powerful. Its essence blood could transform into the 9 words of truth, and its body must also be immensely powerful. There were many invincible powerhouses besieging the primordial bird at that time. To obtain the body of the primordial bird from these invincible powerhouses, one could imagine the immense strength required. Lin Moyu thought,
If it was indeed him who took the body of the primordial bird, his strength must be terrifying even among invincible powerhouses.
This matter was still uncertain, and Lin Moyu couldn't be sure if what he saw was the body of the primordial bird or just an illusion. However, from Antares' reaction, it could be inferred that the old man was extremely terrifying, as Antares didn't even dare to mention his name. He even said not to think about it. But the more he said this, the more curious Lin Moyu became about the old man riding the green ox. The old man's image involuntarily appeared in his mind again. He seemed to have an infinite allure, making it impossible not to think about him, even though Lin Moyu knew he shouldn't.
No, I can't think about it anymore.
A sense of alertness rose from the depths of his soul, and the 9-colored dragon soul crystal seemed to sense something amiss, letting out a loud dragon roar. The talent giant tree also swayed continuously, sending warnings. Lin Moyu suddenly woke up. His subconscious thoughts finally interrupted, and he stopped thinking about it. His soul power fluctuated unstably, causing the entire soul world to distort slightly. His soul trembled, and Lin Moyu felt a deep sense of fear. His strength had long since improved, but he still couldn't help thinking about the old man's image. It was like a deeply imprinted memory that couldn't be erased. This feeling was too terrifying. Forcing himself to calm down, Lin Moyu shifted his attention to the 2 newly ascended spells. These spells, originating from the primordial rune, were called source skills in the small world, but in the great world, they had another recognized name, origin spells. Because they contained the power of the source, they were incredibly powerful. Gather power, fusion degree 110% consumes soul power to enter the gather power state. In this state, all the power and spells of summoned creatures are inherited, breaking through the original level and unleashing power beyond the limit. The gather power state continuously consumes soul power. As soul power weakens, the gather power state also weakens. During this period, killing living beings can obtain their power to maintain the gather power state. The gather power state puts great pressure on the physical body and soul. Overuse may lead to self-destruction. First, he looked at the gather power spell. The spell had changed, becoming quite different from before. Its flexibility had increased, but so had its danger. Gather power was no longer limited by the soul level, as if the shackles had been lifted, allowing Lin Moyu to exert corresponding power according to his will. The limitation now was the maximum that Lin Moyu's soul and physical body could withstand, as well as the number of summoned creatures. If he used it recklessly without understanding his limits, he might self-destruct on the spot. And it would be a complete self-destruction of both body and soul. Of course, Lin Moyu was not afraid of death. He had died countless times on his journey. He thought of his talent, and if the duration could exceed 40 seconds, then what about surpassing the limit? He could be reborn again and again using the gather power spell repeatedly. Lin Moyu felt he might become a desperate fighter, charging into battle without regard for his life, fighting for hundreds of rounds. The thought seemed a bit thrilling, but such actions should be occasional. Doing it too often might cost him his life.
What am I thinking? There's no need to be so reckless.
He chuckled self-deprecatingly, discarding unrealistic thoughts, and turned his attention to the other origin spell. Strengthened Soldiers, fusion degree 110% consumes soul power to enter the Strengthened Soldier state. In this state, all damage caused by summoned creatures is multiplied by 10. The Strengthened Soldier state continuously consumes soul power, which can be replenished by killing enemies. In the Strengthened Soldier state, a portion of the obtained soul power can be absorbed and retained as one's own power. However, external soul power contains impurities and should be refined and purified before absorption. The Strengthened Soldier spell had no significant limitations. Its function was very straightforward, simply multiplying all damage caused by 10. This was different from the 300-fold increase effect of his talent. The 300-fold increase applied to his own spells, while the 10-fold damage applied to the target. For example, if he faced a 9th stage God King, he might only cause 1 point of damage. Even if his talent increased the spell power by 300 times, the opponent's defense might be too strong, resulting in the final damage being only 2 or 3 points. But with the Strengthened Soldier spell, the 1 point of damage would become 10 points of real damage on the target. This was the difference, ignoring the target's defense. Combined with the massive number of undead in his army, the damage would be greatly amplified. Moreover, like Gather Power, Strengthened Soldiers could also kill and absorb the souls of enemies to maintain the spell's duration. Additionally, Strengthened Soldiers could permanently absorb a portion of the enemy's soul power to enhance his own soul. However, the obtained soul power contained impurities and needed to be refined and purified before absorption. Refining and purifying might be difficult for others, but it was very simple for him. Both the Talent Giant Tree and the 9-colored Dragon Soul Crystal had the function of refining and purifying. With both combined, the soul power he obtained would be very pure. On the surface, the changes in the 2 origin spells didn't seem significant, but internally, the changes were substantial. Both spells were designed to grow stronger through battle, becoming more powerful the more they fought. If used well, they could significantly enhance his combat power. If he encountered the Abyssal Dragon Demon again, even without using the Black Star Beast's leg, Lin Moyu was confident he could face it head-on. 1137 1137. Chapter 1137. The Second Avatar of the Abyssal Dragon Demon. Lin Moyu let out a long breath. Up to this point, all spells had been converted to stellar level. Lin. A total of 27 blazing stars hung in the soul world. Some were independent and aloof. Some formed multi-star spells, interconnecting with each other. The entire soul world was bathed in light, dazzling beyond compare. In contrast, the only planetary-level spell, representing the soul-calming spell, looked somewhat lonely and isolated. This planetary-level spell, inherited from Antares, would never ascend to a stellar-level spell unless there was a heaven-defying opportunity. Its foundation was too weak. There was no way around it. Apart from this, the most special among all the stellar-level spells was Infinite Fusion. The star representing infinite fusion was the most dazzling and mysterious of all the stars. It stood high above like a ruler overlooking all other spells. It seemed not to intersect with any other spell, standing proudly alone. But in fact, this was not the case. The chaos law turned into invisible threads, spreading from it and almost entwining all the spells. Even Strengthened Soldiers and Gather Power, the 2 origin spells, were entangled by the chaos law. In Lin Moyu's perception, Infinite Fusion was like a commander commanding all other spells. Even the 2 origin spells were inferior to it. Around it, there were 3 small spell planets, orbiting it like satellites. These 3 satellite-like spell planets were the fusion spells, Time Curse, Death Dragon Knight, and Skeleton God General. This made it even more unique. Its existence represented infinite possibilities. Lin Moyu's gaze swept over all the spells, finally stopping on Infinite Fusion for a few seconds.
It seems I need to find an opportunity to create my own fusion spell.
The current 3 fusion spells were not strictly created by Lin Moyu himself. They were copied from the system's spell demonstrations by Lin Moyu. Although they were very useful, Lin Moyu knew in his heart that these were not truly his own spells. He needed to create a fusion spell that truly belonged to him. But that was very difficult and required a lot of time for experimentation and testing. Lin Moyu opened his eyes and felt the surging power inside and outside his body. His realm had advanced from the 3rd stage of True God to the 4th stage, another significant leap. His combat power had increased again, and the Skeleton God General now truly possessed the combat power of a 1st stage God King. In a siege, it could completely kill a 2nd stage God King. As for the strongest Skeleton King, Lin Moyu believed it could contend with a fourth-stage God King. A fourth-stage true God could fight against a fourth-stage God King. Just thinking about it was incredible, something unprecedented in the history of the great world. Zhu Qiwu remained calm and serious.
How did it go?
In fact, when he asked this, he already knew that Lin Moyu had succeeded. Otherwise, his strength wouldn't have increased. Deity Qishui, standing nearby, twitched his mouth and thought to himself,
Asking the obvious.
Lin Moyu respectfully saluted Zhu Qiwu.
Thank you, Senior Zhu, for guarding me. I have successfully absorbed the 9-colored fire lotus.
He Chui Novet.
It's good that you absorbed it.
He didn't ask further about the results, as there were outsiders present, and some things were inconvenient to discuss. Lin Moyu glanced at the young man under Deity Qishui, slightly surprised, and thought to himself,
His injuries seem worse, and his soul is very weak, as if severely damaged.
Having part of his memory erased, it was normal for his soul to be injured. Looking at Deity Qishui again, his face didn't look good either. It seemed that something interesting had happened while he was absorbing the 9-colored fire lotus. Deity Qishui said in a deep voice,
Guardian Zhu, if there's nothing else, we will take our leave.
He Chui Novet.
Take care, Senior Qishui. Until we meet again.
Deity Qishui smiled bitterly.
Better not to meet again.
With that, he quickly left with his descendant. Zhu Qiwu looked at Lin Moyu with a hint of admiration in his eyes.
Let's go too.
Lin Moyu nodded and left with Zhu Qiwu in another direction. As they walked through the blue flames, the temperature gradually decreased. Suddenly, the shell on Lin Moyu's body lit up. Lin Moyu took the shell in his hand, but it didn't show any arrows, indicating it wasn't a flash fire or flash star. Then Yuxingru's voice came from the shell.
Where are you? The abyssal dragon demon has come to the source of the essence fire. Be careful.
Lin Moyu's heart tightened. The abyssal dragon demon had come to the source of the essence fire? Yuxingru wouldn't lie. Since she informed him, it meant she had really seen the abyssal dragon demon.
Could it be his true body? Could my judgment be wrong?
Lin Moyu speculated that a being like the abyssal dragon demon wouldn't easily take risks with his true body. Coming to the source of the essence fire, he would be restricted. Even if his true body came, it might be dangerous. The most likely scenario was that he was waiting outside the source of the essence fire. But the war zone was so vast, with many paths, it was impossible to wait for him. Seeing Lin Moyu's face change, Zhu Qiwu asked,
What happened?
The voice from the shell could only be heard by Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu said in a deep voice,
Senior Zhu, you should know that I killed the abyssal dragon demon in the 4th stellar essence fire cluster.
Zhu Qiwu naturally knew. He was about to take action at that time but didn't expect Lin Moyu to turn the tables and kill the opponent. Lin Moyu said in a low voice,
I know the abyssal dragon demon was just an avatar. Just now, Yuxingru sent me a message saying she saw the abyssal dragon demon again, and it seems to be coming this way.
Zhu Qiwu's eyebrows furrowed slightly.
The abyssal dragon demon has more than one avatar. This time, it should be another avatar.
The demon race has the ability to create avatars, and the higher the realm of the demon, the more avatars they can create. The avatars of the demon race are different from those of the human race. Humans can also create avatars, but they are more like puppets. They cannot inherit their own spells and attributes, and their strength depends on various materials. Strictly speaking, such avatars are not true avatars. But the avatars of the demon race are different. They are cultivated from their own flesh and blood, inheriting all their spells and attributes. The stronger they are, the stronger the avatars they can cultivate. Similarly, the stronger they are, the more avatars they can cultivate. However, there are also limitations. Too many avatars will affect their own strength. It will also reduce the quality of the avatars. So generally, the demon race rarely has more than 3 avatars.
Why are you so sure it's an avatar of the abyssal dragon demon and not his true body?
Lin Moyu was puzzled. Zhu Qiwu's attitude was too certain. He must know something deeper. Lin Moyu wanted to compare Zhu Qiwu's words with his own speculations. Zhu Qiwu said,
"The abyssal dragon demon's realm is too high. His true body cannot move easily. Only avatars can come. But even if it's an avatar, it will definitely be stronger than the previous one. If I remember correctly, the abyssal dragon demon has 3 avatars. The one you killed was his 3rd avatar, a God King realm avatar. This time, it should be his 2nd avatar, a deity realm avatar."
1138, 1138. Chapter 1138. The Division of Races in the Great World. Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. The 3rd avatar was a god king, and the 2nd avatar was a deity. Then wouldn't the 1st avatar be even more powerful than a deity? Lin Moyu's eyes flickered with worry. Zhu Qiwu noticed Lin Moyu's concern and said,
"Its 1st avatar died in battle a long time ago, so you don't need to worry." "Ah?"
Lin Moyu asked curiously.
"Didn't he replenish his 1st avatar?"
Zhu Qiwu chuckled.
"It's not that easy. If it were that simple, the demon race would be invincible. Moreover, in that battle, his true body was also severely injured. Surviving was already a stroke of luck, and even now, he may not have fully recovered."
With the strength of the abyssal dragon demon, the death of the 1st avatar and the severe injury of the true body would take many years to recover. Clearly, that battle was extremely intense. However, there were no records of it in the information available. Perhaps it was a conflict between the human race and the demon race, as the 2 races are mortal enemies, frequently clashing in both large and small conflicts. It might have been one of those. Zhu Qiwu continued,
"But speaking of which, the demon race's ability to cultivate avatars is indeed enviable. Our human race doesn't have this ability. For example, this avatar of mine was created using special methods and materials. Strictly speaking, it can't be considered a true avatar, just a puppet."
Lin Moyu nodded.
"This is indeed an advantage of the demon race. Yes, in the great world, there are countless races, but in terms of avatar cultivation, only the dragon race surpasses the demon race."
As they walked and talked, Zhu Qiwu shared his extensive knowledge with Lin Moyu. He explained the abilities of several races in the great world that could cultivate avatars. Among them, the dragon race had the strongest avatar abilities, followed by the demon race. Ranked 3rd was a special race called the Ghost Eaters, who also had powerful avatar abilities. Through Zhu Qiwu's explanations, Lin Moyu gained a clear understanding of the races in the great world that possessed avatar abilities. In summary, while avatars are a magical and useful ability, they don't significantly determine the strength of a race. No race becomes powerful solely because of avatars. A truly powerful race needs to have top-tier strength within its ranks. When strength reaches a certain level, quantity loses its significance. Seeing Zhu Qiwu's patience, Lin Moyu shamelessly asked,
"How exactly is the strength of races in the great world divided?"
Since arriving in the great world, Lin Moyu had seen and read about hundreds of races. However, the exact criteria for determining the strength of races remained unclear. He knew which races were strong but didn't understand why they were considered strong. What distinguishes a strong race from a weak one? Zhu Qiwu laughed.
"This question will be answered when you reach level 5 authority. The information is all there. But since you asked, I don't mind telling you. It's not a secret anyway. The strength of races in the great world can be divided into 3 levels: top-tier strong races, ordinary strong races, and ordinary races. The requirements for top-tier strong races are the highest. They need to have top-tier powerhouses, vast territories, and a large population."
After Zhu Qiwu's explanation, Lin Moyu finally understood the specific criteria for the strength of races in the great world. For example, the human race and the demon race are top-tier strong races because they have top-tier powerhouses, vast territories, and large populations. The starfire worms, which Lin Moyu had killed, were considered ordinary strong races. They had top-tier powerhouses but lacked sufficient territory and population, so they were only classified as ordinary strong races. Whether a race is a top-tier strong race or an ordinary strong race, there is a hard requirement. The race must have top-tier powerhouses. These top-tier powerhouses are not just deities but beings that surpass the deity realm. As for what lies beyond the deity realm, Zhu Qiwu didn't say, and Lin Moyu didn't ask. He wasn't qualified to know yet. Ordinary races lack top-tier powerhouses, territory, and population. The most crucial factor is the top-tier powerhouses. Without them, the other two factors are impossible to maintain. If they do exist, it would be a disaster for the race. The butterfly race was such an example. They had a large population and a decent territory but lacked top-tier powerhouses. As a result, they were seen as easy prey by other strong races, who would take bites out of them whenever they pleased. Some even tried to devour the entire butterfly race in one go. Fortunately, with the help of the human race, the butterfly race survived. Now, the butterfly race has produced top-tier powerhouses that surpass the deity realm, along with a decent territory and a large population. They have now entered the ranks of top-tier strong races, albeit as one of the weaker ones. But with the human race's support, no other race dares to trouble the butterfly race. After understanding the division of races in the great world, Lin Moyu asked,
Where does our human race rank among all the races in the great world?
Zhu Qiwu smiled.
There isn't a specific ranking, but we are among the top, probably within the top 10.
With countless races in the great world, being in the top 10 is already very strong. However, this statement surprised Lin Moyu. The human race occupies vast star regions and has an enormous population. Lin Moyu believed that there must be more than one top-tier powerhouse within the human race. Even so, they are only in the top 10. He wondered if Zhu Qiwu was being too modest or if there were simply too many strong races in the great world. Zhu Qiwu chuckled.
Don't be skeptical. The great world is very deep, and what you've seen is just a small part. For example, the starry fish human princess who gave you the shell. Do you think the starry fish human race is strong?
Lin Moyu nodded unconsciously.
They should be very strong.
Zhu Qiwu laughed.
The starry fish human race is also a top-tier strong race. Their strength is not inferior to ours. Moreover, they are very mysterious. I suspect they have hidden powers. In addition to these strong races, there are many powerful starry beings in the great world. Each of them is a race unto themselves and equally terrifying.
Lin Moyu thought of the starry giant tree, whose strength was undeniable. It alone had the power to destroy a race. The great world is indeed very deep, unfathomably so. Lin Moyu adjusted his goals slightly, realizing he couldn't afford to be too arrogant. As they conversed, they left the blue flame star. Shortly after, a portal appeared in the space before them. Yuxingru emerged from the portal, holding the starry pearl. She looked anxious.
Did you receive my message?
Lin Moyu nodded.
I did. Then why haven't you left?
Yuxingru glared at him, seemingly angry but with concern in her eyes. Lin Moyu felt a warmth in his heart.
I just received it.
He originally wanted to say there was no need to leave, but seeing Yuxingru's concern, he changed his words. Yuxingru said,
Then let's go quickly. I hope it's not too late.
Suddenly, a strange aura descended, enveloping the starry sky.
You don't need to leave.
A booming voice echoed from all directions. 1139, 1139. Chapter 1139. All avatars are dead. Shu Yuqing's face changed dramatically, unable to help but exclaim.
How could it be so fast? How could he find us so accurately?
Zhu Qiwu pointed to the starry pearl in Shu Yuqing's hand.
This pearl has the mark of the abyssal dragon demon.
Shu Yuqing was suddenly shocked.
It shouldn't be. I checked it carefully.
Zhu Qiwu shook his head.
The gap in your realms is too large. The mark left by the abyssal dragon demon is not so easily discovered.
Shu Yuqing realized that she had been used. The abyssal dragon demon must have intentionally let her find him, and then she used the shell to find Lin Moyu. quickly catching up. She hadn't noticed that the abyssal dragon demon had been following her all along. Xu Yuqing's face twisted in an ugly expression, but Lin Moyu was not worried at all. Instead, he chuckled.
The old dragon is really cunning.
With Zhu Qiwu by his side, he had nothing to worry about. Seeing Zhu Qiwu so calm, it was clear that he didn't take the second avatar of the abyssal dragon demon seriously. Zhu Qiwu said calmly,
Just some underhanded tricks, nothing of great use. Arrogant fool!
The voice of the abyssal dragon demon echoed again. The voice came from all directions, directly resonating in the soul, making it impossible to discern the specific direction. But in the next second, a body over 100,000 meters long appeared, revealing the abyssal dragon demon. Its entire body was wrapped in the deep abyssal fire, coiled in the starry sky, only 1,000 meters away from Lin Moyu and the others, looking even larger than the stars. A terrifying pressure rushed towards them, making it difficult for Xu Yuqing to breathe. Lin Moyu stepped aside, blocking the pressure for Xu Yuqing. Xu Yuqing looked at Lin Moyu's back with a complex expression. At this moment, Lin Moyu was like a towering mountain, shielding her from the storm. The abyssal dragon demon was very strong. Under its soul lock, even though Xu Yuqing had the starry pearl and mastered the space laws, she had no confidence in escaping. Clearly, they were at the edge of the blue flame star, where the suppression of the great world laws was the strongest. But the abyssal dragon demon seemed unaffected, still possessing at least the strength of an 8th stage or even 9th stage god king. Previously, the abyssal dragon demon had ignored the suppression of the great world laws, and it was the same this time. Xu Yuqing didn't understand why or how he did it. Lin Moyu could guess part of it. The abyssal dragon demon could partially bypass the suppression mainly because of its origin spell. Another part might be because its true body was too strong, a top-tier powerhouse beyond the God King realm. The avatar could borrow part of the true body's power, and the combination of the two resulted in the current effect. Other God Kings would be suppressed to the peak of the true God realm. But he was barely affected, still maintaining strong combat power.
Kid, you ruined my plan, killed my avatar, and took my treasure. Tell me, how do you want to die? But no matter what you choose, I will roast your soul in the abyssal fire for 10,000 years.
The abyssal dragon demon clearly had great resentment towards Lin Moyu. He didn't just want to kill Lin Moyu. He wanted to torture him for 10,000 years. Lin Moyu said softly,
I just killed the third avatar. Is there a need for such resentment?
Zhu Qiwu chuckled.
In the past, killing his third avatar was indeed nothing. Cultivating a God King realm avatar wasn't difficult. But now it's different. His true body is injured, and his first avatar has fallen. He temporarily has no ability to cultivate new avatars, so each avatar has become extremely precious.
This was indeed the case, and Lin Moyu understood. Xu Yuqing, however, seemed to be listening to a heavenly book, not understanding what they were talking about. She didn't recognize the old man beside Lin Moyu, who seemed ordinary. The abyssal dragon demon looked at Zhu Qiwu.
Who are you? How do you know these things?
Zhu Qiwu ignored him and continued speaking to Lin Moyu.
I'm quite interested to see what happens if all his avatars die. Will his true body dare to move or not?
As he spoke, Zhu Qiwu's aura soared, like a rocket shooting into the sky. He quickly broke through the true God realm, then the God King realm, reaching the God King realm. And it wasn't just the first stage of the God King realm. He reached at least the 5th or even 6th stage before stopping. Zhu Qiwu's God King aura not only dispersed the pressure of the abyssal dragon demon but also surged back, suppressing the abyssal dragon demon. The abyssal fire on the abyssal dragon demon flickered violently, reflecting its inner turmoil. It roared.
Who are you?
Zhu Qiwu said.
That's not important. What's important is that your last avatar is also going to die.
As he spoke, countless starlights flew from the distant starry sky, converging in Zhu Qiwu's hand. These starlights looked different, containing strong law power. This was not Zhu Qiwu's true body, just one of his avatars. Human avatars are more like puppets, unable to inherit the true body's spells and talents. They can only utilize the true body's laws. This was the current situation. Zhu Qiwu didn't use any spells, only laws. A god king's laws are fully mastered. Their laws converge from branches and streams into a river, truly entering the Law Star River, becoming part of it. They can truly mobilize the power within the Law Star River. Lin Moyu could feel Zhu Qiwu's laws were strong, but he didn't know which laws Zhu Qiwu was using. He only saw Zhu Qiwu strike towards the abyssal dragon demon with a palm. The starlight converged into a brilliant giant palm, whistling towards the abyssal dragon demon. The giant palm moved slowly, almost leisurely, but the abyssal dragon demon seemed to be under a spell. Its eyes filled with terror, unable to move, waiting for the giant palm to arrive.
No. No.
In the terrified eyes of the abyssal dragon demon, the giant palm slowly crossed the 1,000-meter distance and passed over the abyssal dragon demon. The giant palm disappeared into the dark starry sky, and the massive body of the abyssal dragon demon collapsed. It didn't crumble bit by bit, but turned into sand, fine as dust. With a flicker of blue flame, the abyssal dragon demon's body was blown into the starry sky. Lin Moyu reached out and grabbed a handful of the abyssal dragon demon's remains. He carefully sensed it. Although it had turned to sand, it was still a corpse and could still be used for corpse explosion. This was a valuable item. The second avatar was at the God King realm, and it was at the second stage of the God King realm. Using it for corpse explosion could probably kill a third stage God King. Lin Moyu carefully collected the sandy remains. With it in hand, he had the confidence to face a God King directly. Shu Yuqing was stunned, her lips trembling.
It's dead just like that.
Zhu Qiwu acted as if he had done something trivial, his aura rapidly receding, turning back into an unremarkable old man. Zhu Qiwu looked at Shu Yuqing.
Little girl, let me see the starry pearl.
Shu Yuqing didn't dare refuse, respectfully handing the starry pearl to Zhu Qiwu. Zhu Qiwu examined it for a while.
It's said that the starry pearl is a treasure of your starry fish human race. It was lost by accident, and now it's finally recovered.
As he spoke, he wiped the starry pearl.
All right, the mark of the abyssal dragon demon has been removed. He won't be able to find you through the starry pearl anymore.
1140. Chapter 1140. Should we consider an alliance? In the terrifying world wrapped in abyssal fire, the eyes of the abyssal dragon demon opened once again. Lin.
Damn it, the star-shattering law. How could it be the star-shattering law? I remember your aura. When I recover, I will slaughter your entire clan.
The abyssal dragon demon roared madly. With its roar, the demons in this world trembled, not daring to move. Yet, many demons were still killed by its roar, turning into nourishment for its recovery. A huge head emerged from the abyssal fire, revealing a terrifying dent on one side. Half of the dragon's head had been shattered into pieces. Moreover, a powerful force lingered at the wound, preventing it from healing. This force not only corroded the wound but also the soul. The demons it devoured were just a drop in the bucket for the abyssal dragon demon, not very useful. After roaring for a while, the abyssal dragon demon retreated again. The hatred in its eyes was overwhelming. The world returned to peace. Zhu Qiwu had long known that the true body of the abyssal dragon demon couldn't move, so he didn't hesitate to kill the abyssal dragon demon's avatar. As the master of the human race in this war zone, he controlled 10 star fortresses. Just now, he borrowed the power of the 10 star fortresses to break through the restrictions of the Great World Laws. Although it was only for one strike and he couldn't use spells, it was more than enough to deal with the abyssal dragon demon, who was also suppressed by the Great World Laws. Zhu Qiwu returned the starry pearl to Yuxingru and stepped aside, not wanting to be a third wheel. With Zhu Qiwu gone, only Lin Moyu and Yuxingru were left in the silent starry sky, making the atmosphere a bit awkward. Lin Moyu was grateful to Yuxingru. Although she was very strong, coming to the source of the essence fire was still dangerous. So, Yuxingru had been searching in the fourth stellar essence fire cluster and hadn't left. But for his sake, she came without hesitation. Lin Moyu remembered this favor. After a few seconds of silence, Lin Moyu spoke first.
Thank you for coming to inform me.
Yuxingru said softly.
I didn't know the abyssal dragon demon would track us, almost causing you harm.
Lin Moyu shook his head and smiled.
He wants to kill me, but it's not that easy. Did you find any top-grade essence fire?
Yuxingru's face fell.
I found a 5-colored essence fire before, but it failed. It's just that my spells are too strong. The 5-colored essence fire isn't enough. I need a 6-colored or 7-colored essence fire. Now there's no way. I can only wait until I become a god king and come back to find it.
Yuxingru glanced at the source of the essence fire. The stellar essence fire here was too intense, making it dangerous for her. If it weren't for informing Lin Moyu, she wouldn't have come. As she spoke, a faint light flashed on Yuxingru's body, as if a layer of glass had shattered. Immediately, her clothes began to burn. Yuxingru exclaimed and quickly took out a small white pearl, crushing it. A stream of water covered her body, extinguishing the flames. Yuxingru said,
This place is indeed not somewhere I can stay now. I have to leave.
She could only stay here for a while with the pearl, but not for long. Without the pearl, the high temperature alone would be enough to burn her to death.
Wait.
Lin Moyu called out to her. Yuxingru smiled brightly.
What's the matter? Do you need my help with something? You still owe me a favor, and now you might owe me another one.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
How many essence fires do you still need?
Yuxingru spread her arms and smiled even more brightly.
What, are you going to give me essence fire?
Lin Moyu nodded and asked again.
How many do you need?
Yuxingru held up 3 fingers.
3.
Lin Moyu nodded.
Got it. Go back to the 4th stellar essence fire cluster and wait for me. I'll find the essence fire and bring it to you.
Yuxingru's eyes lit up.
Really? Really? All right, I'll trust you this time.
With that, Yuxingru activated the starry pearl, and a space portal appeared in front of her. She stepped into it and disappeared. Zhu Qiwu flew over from a distance.
Finished talking so quickly? I thought you young people would chat for a while.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Thank you for your help earlier, Senior.
Zhu Qiwu waved his hand.
It was a small matter, not worth mentioning. Now that your spells have been fully elevated, are you planning to return?
Lin Moyu said.
I promised Yuxingru to help her find 3 7-colored essence fires, so I might need to stay here for a while.
Zhu Qiwu smiled meaningfully.
A hero can't resist the beauty.
Lin Moyu was both amused and exasperated. This serious senior suddenly seemed a bit mischievous. Unexpectedly, Zhu Qiwu's mischief didn't stop there. He continued,
Kid, have you considered forming an alliance with the starry fish-human princess? I've heard that the starry fish-human race is quite special.
Zhu Qiwu spoke seriously, but to Lin Moyu, he seemed a bit unserious.
This senior seems a bit inconsistent.
Lin Moyu thought to himself but didn't show it.
Senior, Yuxingru and I don't have that kind of relationship.
Zhu Qiwu laughed.
I'm serious. Many races want to form alliances with the starry fish-human race. They are indeed special. Their physique is unique. Forming a bond with them can increase cultivation speed. Unfortunately, that young lady is a princess of the starry fish-human race, with a noble status and mastery of space laws. Getting her to marry into our race would be difficult, but if you were to marry into theirs, the human race wouldn't let you go. But it's not impossible.
Zhu Qiwu's chatterbox opened again, like an old man, rambling on. Lin Moyu had no choice but to listen as they flew towards the stellar essence fire cluster. He needed to find 3 7-colored essence fires for Yuxingru, as he had promised. Additionally, he needed to find flash fire and flash stars on his way back. Although his spells had been fully elevated, His physical body was far from its limit and could still be improved. Since he was already at the source of the essence fire, where the flash fire was most abundant and effective, he couldn't miss this opportunity. At some point, Zhu Qiwu's chatter stopped. He seemed to have thought of many methods, but none were suitable. Lin Moyu felt helpless. He had realized that this senior wasn't trying to matchmake him with Yuxingru. He simply wanted to pair them up to utilize the special physique of the starry fish-human race to enhance his own strength. In the end, it was all for the benefit of the human race. Zhu Qiwu even considered kidnapping Yuxingru. The problem was how to do it without being discovered by the starry fish-human race, leaving no trace. Lin Moyu was speechless. This senior seemed to disregard something called a moral bottom line. This time, luck was on his side. It only took 10 days to gather 3 7-colored essence fires. Then Lin Moyu began searching for flash fire to enhance his physical body. 1141, 1141. Chapter 1141. Cultivating the physical body, Zhu Qiwu watching the show. The source of the essence fire is both dangerous and full of opportunities. Lin. In addition to the numerous essence fires which can produce 5-colored or higher essence fires, there is also the flash fire. For most races, flash fire means death. So, people here are very cautious even wearing powerful defensive artifacts. With the power of these artifacts, they can occasionally withstand the impact of flash fire. But often, people are burned to ashes by the flash fire, dying without even leaving a corpse. However, for those who cultivate their physical bodies, this place is a holy land. It's just that, in the great world, very few people cultivate their physical bodies. People like Lin Moyu who actively seek out flash fire are rare. After spending half a day, Lin Moyu found a flash fire and quickly rushed over, waiting for it to appear. Zhu Qiwu followed from a distance, jokingly saying,
"You've already found the 7-colored essence fire. Why not give it to your little girlfriend? This attitude won't do."
Lin Moyu's face darkened.
"Senior, she's not my girlfriend, and I have a wife."
Zhu Qiwu chuckled.
"You know best."
"Know best, my foot." Lin Moyu deeply felt the straightforwardness of Antares. The dragon race's way of speaking is direct, without so many twists and turns. Zhu Qiwu, who looks very serious, is actually quite improper, making Lin Moyu somewhat speechless. The flash fire had not yet appeared when the shell suddenly lit up again. Yuxingru's voice echoed in his soul.
"Something came up. I have to return to the clan. Keep the essence fire for this princess."
Although her tone was calm, Lin Moyu sensed something unusual. Yuxingru seemed a bit unhappy, though he didn't know what had happened. But since she said to keep the essence fire for her, it shouldn't be anything serious. Lin Moyu's slight worry dissipated. Keep the essence fire, and give it to her next time they meet. Now, there was no need to rush. Zhu Qiwu seemed to sense the change in Lin Moyu's aura.
"Did something happen?"
Lin Moyu shook his head.
"Nothing. Yuxingru had something to do and went back to her clan."
Zhu Qiwu responded with an
"Oh?"
Seemingly unsurprised.
"She finally went back. She shouldn't have come out in the first place."
Huh? Lin Moyu looked at Zhu Qiwu in confusion. Zhu Qiwu chuckled.
"Want to know? You'll find out when you enter the divine city in the future."
Again with the half-told stories, this improper senior is somewhat annoying. Lin Moyu said in a deep voice,
"Entering the divine city isn't easy, right?"
Zhu Qiwu replied seriously,
"It's a bit difficult, but also very simple. The divine city is vast. The key is where you can go after entering. But these things are still early for you. No need to rush."
Indeed, there's no need to rush. He should deal with the current matters first. The flash fire appeared, and his internal organs felt like they were being burned by flames, becoming extremely hot. The impurities in his organs were quickly burned away, making them stronger. Flash fire not only burns the physical body but also the soul. However, once the physical body completely withstands the flash fire, the soul won't be affected. If one can't withstand the flash fire's attack, once the physical body is burned, The flash fire will burn the soul, turning it to ashes. Lin Moyu completely withstood the flash fire's burning, his soul unaffected, and his organs became even stronger. Next, Lin Moyu continued to search for flash fire to enhance his physical body. Zhu Qiwu tirelessly followed behind Lin Moyu, like an elder watching a younger generation grow stronger. With the guidance of the shell, in the next 30 days, Lin Moyu found a total of 18 flash fires, experiencing 16 times of physical burning. The other 2 times, he was a step late and didn't successfully enjoy the flash fire's body refining effect. However, he unexpectedly obtained 2 6-colored essence fires. Lin Moyu now had 42 6-colored essence fires and 3 7-colored essence fires. Not to mention, just these 42 6-colored essence fires were a considerable fortune. Moreover, Lin Moyu also had 20,000 ordinary stellar essence fires. Zhu Qiwu murmured,
When I was at your level, I didn't have such wealth. Blame it on my lack of decisiveness in killing back then, not killing enough people.
Lin Moyu's eyelids twitched. Did he want to kill them? Those guys sought their own death, and he couldn't just let them go. Zhu Qiwu's words made it sound like he was a ruthless killer. Whether he was ruthless or not was debatable, but he certainly killed without hesitation. Lin Moyu had long lost count of how many people he had killed. During this time, Lin Moyu mastered a new skill, selectively ignoring Zhu Qiwu's words. Some words could be listened to while others were better left unheard. Lin Moyu said softly,
Senior, I plan to return. On the way back, I will continue to search for flash stars to enhance my skin, flesh, and bones.
The flash fire's effect was diminishing, and his organs had almost reached the true god realm's limit. At this point, there was an imbalance between the strength of his skin, flesh, bones, and organs. Lin Moyu planned to find flash stars to continue refining his internal body.
Do as you wish, no need to consult me.
Zhu Qiwu looked as if he was just a spectator, meaning Lin Moyu didn't need to consider him, treating him as if he didn't exist. Lin Moyu was just informing him, not seeking his opinion. The firelight gradually dimmed, and the temperature quickly dropped. Watching the receding source of the essence fire, Lin Moyu thought to himself,
I haven't encountered Senior Brother Su during this time. I wonder if he found any 6-colored essence fire.
Lin Moyu thought that if he met Su Jianxing, he could give him a few 6-colored essence fires. 6-colored essence fires weren't very valuable to him and weren't hard to find. But for others, they weren't easy to come by. However, he hadn't seen him recently, guessing he might have found the essence fire and returned. The green sword Taoist also hadn't appeared, likely having returned. The green sword Taoist spells were perfect, and he was likely preparing for a breakthrough. The next time they met, he might be at the deity realm. Generally, as long as one returned alive, they would have some gains. Lin Moyu calculated his gains from this trip. His cultivation had reached the 4th stage of the true god realm, his spells were perfect, and his combat power was comparable to the 4th stage of the god king realm. The gains were much greater than he had expected. Now, he just needed to find flash stars to push his physical body to the limit. The shell played a significant role, saving an unknown amount of time. With its guidance, finding flash stars wasn't difficult. Although the void was vast and the distribution of flash stars was much sparser than flash fire, he could find one every few days. Lin Moyu was knocked flying by a flash star, uncontrollably flying 1,000,000 miles in the void. Sometimes, being knocked flying would cause him to collide with dark stars, sometimes more than one, bouncing him around like a volleyball. Zhu Qiwu watched with great amusement, laughing heartily. Lin Moyu sighed, feeling helpless but having no choice. Fortunately, with each collision, his physical body grew stronger. The strength of his skin, flesh, and bones began to match his organs, making his body more perfect. After enduring more than 10 collisions, Lin Moyu found that the impact of the flash stars on him was diminishing. From being knocked 1,000,000 kilometers at first, it reduced to 800,000 kilometers, then 500,000 kilometers. Until finally, the flash stars could no longer knock him away. He could even collide head-on with dark stars using his physical body. 1142. Chapter 1142. I want to take both paths. As the strength of his skin, flesh, and bones continued to increase, they finally reached the same level as his internal organs. Lin. The previous sense of division instantly disappeared, and his whole body felt integrated, bursting with a sense of power. Lin Moyu even felt that he could shatter a star with a single punch. It wasn't an illusion. It was his real feeling. With his current peak true god realm physical strength, even without mobilizing any laws or using any spells, he had the power to shatter stars with pure physical strength. Pure physical strength had transformed from quantitative to qualitative change. Although it lacked laws, it was superior to laws. Lin Moyu vaguely felt that if his physical body could continue to grow stronger, he might truly achieve the legendary state of becoming a saint with his physical body, impervious to all laws. Lin Moyu's whole body radiated a dazzling brilliance. When he exerted force, layers of flowing silver light appeared, like a waterfall of stars, extremely magnificent. With the cultivation of the True God fourth stage and the physical body at the peak of the True God realm, Lin Moyu had completely turned the tables, with his physical body surpassing his soul cultivation. Zhu Qiwu smiled and generously praised.
Not bad, not bad. Your physical body has reached the peak of the true God realm. With a bit of opportunity, you might break through to the God King realm.
Zhu Qiwu looked at Lin Moyu as if he were a rare animal. Among the human race, those who cultivate their physical bodies are extremely rare, and those who succeed are even rarer. Lin Moyu was a rare breed. Lin Moyu knew that it wouldn't be long before he reached the God King realm. His heart of flame beat powerfully, and the blood it pumped faintly glowed with a golden light. A body of flowing gold was the hallmark of the God King realm physical body. The physical bodies of most deities were only at the true God realm. Only a few deities had physical bodies that reached the God King realm, and they were often at the peak of the deity realm. Zhu Qiwu looked Lin Moyu up and down and clicked his tongue.
Kid, the more I look at you, the more you seem like a monster.
Lin Moyu ignored Zhu Qiwu's words and instead asked,
I feel that having a strong physical body has many benefits and greatly enhances combat power. Why don't we humans cultivate both the soul and the physical body?
Zhu Qiwu laughed.
Do you think it's because we don't want to? It's because we don't have the ability or the resources. Cultivating the physical body requires consuming a large amount of resources and treasures to achieve success. Do you think everyone can be like you, finding flash stars and flash fire to cultivate their physical bodies? Here, even a god king would struggle if hit by a flash star. If they're unlucky, they might lose half their life. Moreover, the physical body naturally strengthens with cultivation. So most people choose to cultivate the soul and let the physical body naturally grow stronger.
Lin Moyu understood this reasoning but had his own thoughts.
That's true, but I still feel something is off.
Zhu Qiwu laughed.
There's nothing wrong with it. Having a strong physical body is certainly good, and no one would refuse it. But if it can naturally grow stronger, that's good enough. Here, with flash stars and flash fire, you can cultivate your physical body, but the peak of the true God realm is the limit. If you want to continue to grow stronger, you'll need other opportunities, and those are hard to come by. Think about it. You put in a lot of effort to cultivate your physical body to the peak of the true God realm. But others, after reaching the deity realm, naturally have a true God realm physical body. It might not be as strong as the peak of the true God realm, but it's not far off. In that case, who would be willing to put in the effort to cultivate their physical body?
Lin Moyu wanted to say more, but Zhu Qiwu didn't give him a chance and continued.
I know what you want to ask. You want to know about becoming a saint with your physical body, impervious to all laws. How many people in history have achieved that? Check the records. Those who have achieved it either belong to races with naturally strong physical bodies or have had extraordinary encounters. Even among the races with the strongest physical bodies, like the Peng race, not many of them cultivate their physical bodies. For us humans, it's even harder.
Lin Moyu couldn't help but smile bitterly.
So, am I just wasting my time?
Zhu Qiwu shook his head and smiled.
Of course not. Having a strong physical body has great benefits for both your current strength and future cultivation. It's just that cultivating the physical body is difficult, so most people choose the easier path. You'll understand the reasoning in the future. For now, just follow your own path. From what I can see, your path is not wrong.
Whether Lin Moyu understood or not, Zhu Qiwu had said all he could. Lin Moyu nodded, having his own understanding and guesses. In his view, the soul and the physical body are two different paths. They are distinct but interconnected, mutually dependent, and complementary. If forced to choose one, the soul path is naturally the choice. But if both can be chosen, that's the best. So his path was not wrong. The soul must grow stronger, and so must the physical body. The return journey was much faster than the way there. After more than 100 days, Lin Moyu returned to the fourth stellar essence fire cluster. After a year, the fourth stellar essence fire cluster welcomed new visitors again. The danger caused by the abyssal dragon demon had long been buried in the river of time. Lin Moyu passed through the fourth stellar essence fire cluster and continued his return. The journey back was increasingly fast. He no longer needed skeletons to clear the way. Even if there were dark stars, he would crash through them without stopping. With his peak true god realm physical body, ordinary dark stars couldn't stop him. They were either directly shattered by him or broken into pieces. With a peak true god realm physical body, he could truly destroy the heavens and the earth, shattering stars with ease. During this time, he fully adapted to the changes brought by his enhanced physical body, and his physical strength became more and more at his command. By the time he returned to the first stellar essence fire cluster, his control over his physical body had become meticulous. Zhu Qiwu, following far behind Lin Moyu, nodded in approval, acknowledging Lin Moyu's adaptability. Returning from the most dangerous essence fire source to the first stellar essence fire cluster, Lin Moyu couldn't help but feel a bit emotional as he looked at the sparse ordinary essence fires. This mission, which took more than a year, was the longest task he had ever undertaken. More than a year, even in his short cultivation career, was not a small amount of time.
Time flies.
Lin Moyu sighed softly. In the battlefield, the passage of time was no longer so precise. Lin Moyu instinctively wanted to check his status panel. He remembered that the attribute panel provided by the Human Emperor Network recorded his age. However, he failed to check it. Without the Human Emperor Network, he couldn't bring up the panel. He could only wait until he returned to check it, silently calculating in his mind.
I should be almost 33 years old.
Lin Moyu murmured to himself, his voice very soft, but unconsciously, he used his soul voice. In the starry sky, ordinary voices couldn't be transmitted, so he had long been accustomed to using his soul voice. When something becomes a habit, it's hard to change. His words fell into Zhu Qiwu's ears, and Zhu Qiwu's eyes immediately sparkled with golden light.
33 years old. This kid is only 33 years old. Right, I haven't checked his bone age. If he's really only 33 years old, this kid's cultivation talent far exceeds my expectations. He might break the history of the human race.
Zhu Qiwu's heart was in turmoil, unable to calm down. At this moment, a loud shout came from the side.
Lin Moyu!
1143 1143. Chapter 1143. Giving face to the Shengang deity. A loud shout pulled Lin Moyu's thoughts back to reality, simultaneously suppressing Zhu Qiwu's inner shock. Lin. Zhu Qiwu saw three young men blocking Lin Moyu's path. Three humans. The newcomers looked unfriendly, and the leader clearly harbored hostility towards Lin Moyu. Such hostile eyes couldn't escape the notice of an old fox like Zhu Qiwu, who had lived for 10,000 years.
Interesting, there's a deity behind them. Let's see how this brat handles it.
Zhu Qiwu's figure gradually disappeared, blending into the void. With his strength, unless he actively revealed himself, it was difficult for others to detect him. Lin Moyu found the voice familiar and looked at the newcomers, smiling to himself.
So it's him.
The three people stood less than a kilometer away from him. For a true God realm cultivator, the difference between a kilometer and a meter was negligible. The leader, Xiao Shiyuan, had only met Lin Moyu once. This guy liked Gu Qingxian, but unfortunately, it was unrequited love. Gu Qingxian didn't fancy him at all. Because of Gu Qingxian, there had been some minor conflicts between Lin Moyu and Xiao Shiyuan. It wasn't a real conflict, just a difference of opinion. The great world was so vast that Lin Moyu thought they might never meet again in this lifetime. Unexpectedly, fate had other plans. Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
What's the matter?
Xiao Shiyuan sneered.
You don't even call me senior brother. Don't you know basic manners?
Xiao Shiyuan was exuding the aura of a six-stage true god, indeed 2 stages higher than Lin Moyu. Humans, inheriting from the human emperor, often addressed each other as senior and junior brothers. But this wasn't a strict rule, and there were no hard and fast regulations. Now, Xiao Shiyuan was using this to criticize him, which Lin Moyu found amusing.
Don't you think you're being a bit childish?
Xiao Shiyuan's face changed dramatically.
What did you say?
A dangerous aura rose from him, and a powerful pressure spread through the starry sky. The 2 people with him silently spread out, subtly blocking Lin Moyu's path. Xiao Shiyuan said,
Do you remember what I told you before?
Lin Moyu didn't even think before replying.
I forgot. Did you say something?
Lin Moyu's attitude clearly showed that he didn't take Xiao Shiyuan seriously. Otherwise, how could he forget what was said? In fact, in Lin Moyu's eyes, Xiao Shiyuan was just a clown. How could he remember what such a person said? It would be too tiring. Xiao Shiyuan's face grew even darker.
I told you not to let me see you outside the human race.
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
It seems someone did say that to me. So it was you.
Boom! The starry sky around Xiao Shiyuan exploded as he clenched his fists, as if he wanted to crush the stars.
Lin Moyu, you're courting death.
Killing intent surged from him, and his eyes grew colder.
There's no human emperor network here. Even if I kill you, nothing will happen.
Lin Moyu remained indifferent.
Is that so? In that case, I can kill you too.
Xiao Shiyuan laughed maniacally.
Kill me? Do you have what it takes?
Lin Moyu looked at him and sighed.
You must have been on the battlefield for a while now.
Xiao Shiyuan was slightly taken aback, not understanding why Lin Moyu said that. Indeed, he had been on the battlefield for a while, ever since his last conflict with Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu thought that if Xiao Shiyuan had come recently, he would have known about Lin Moyu's rise on the potential list and his encounter with the inspection team. Anyone with a brain could deduce Lin Moyu's strength from these events. He wouldn't be here spouting nonsense. Xiao Shiyuan couldn't figure it out and stopped thinking, coldly saying,
I'll give you a chance now. Kneel and apologize to me. Then never see junior sister Gu again, and I'll spare your life. Kneel?
Lin Moyu chuckled.
For the sake of us both being human, I'll give face to the Xiangang deity. Apologize to me now, and I'll let bygones be bygones. I'll pretend I didn't hear what you said before.
Xiao Shiyuan was infuriated, feeling that Lin Moyu was throwing his words back at him. What nonsense about giving face to his grandfather.
Who do you think you are? My grandfather needs your face? You're courting death.
Xiao Shiyuan roared, sending a white beam of light shooting towards Lin Moyu like an arrow. The Shengang law ranked in the 2nd tier. It was said to be born from a mysterious light in the starry sky, possessing sharp characteristics, capable of piercing everything. Among the 2nd tier laws, the Shengang law's power was moderate, neither strong nor weak. The strength of its attack depended on the user. Lin Moyu didn't dodge, letting the Shengang beam hit him. His skeletal armor flashed, blocking the attack. The skeletal armor shone brightly, remaining intact. After reaching the peak of the true god realm, his physical defense had greatly increased. To Lin Moyu's surprise, the skeletal armor had also become much stronger. He remembered the initial attributes of the skeletal armor, which were determined by his physical attributes. After evolving into a spell, the skeletal armor's defense was determined by his soul. But clearly, physical attributes still influenced the skeletal armor. This influence had moved from the surface to the background. Both the physical body and the soul affected the strength of the skeletal armor. Xiao Shiyuan's Shengang Law couldn't break through the skeletal armor. A six-stage True God's attack was too weak for Lin Moyu. As the skeletal armor shone brightly, Xiao Shiyuan suddenly froze. His body was enveloped in white light, and a layer of fine white bones appeared. The spell linkage triggered an automatic counterattack from the skeletal prison. In an instant, Xiao Shiyuan was trapped, and the paralysis effect of the skeletal prison immobilized him. Only his mind could think. Even his eyes couldn't move. In his horror, skeletal fangs and spears appeared, exploding on his body. With a scream that echoed through the starry sky, Xiao Shiyuan fell from the white light, covered in blood. His body was riddled with wounds, looking like a tattered rag. Although cultivators focus on the soul, not the body, physical injuries are still easy to heal. But the body is a vessel, and its collapse is not good for the soul. With a true god's recovery ability, it would take Xiao Shiyuan several days to heal his body. In his fear, Xiao Shiyuan took out a white pill and swallowed it. His body was immediately enveloped in light, and his wounds began to heal rapidly. Lin Moyu sensed the pill's immense life force and law power.
It should be the life law.
Lin Moyu thought, his mind moving slightly. Xiao Shiyuan screamed again as his healing wounds reopened. The death power of the undying law erupted, clashing with the life power of the pill. Xiao Shiyuan's body became a battlefield for the two laws.
Stop!
The two cultivators with Xiao Shiyuan simultaneously attacked Lin Moyu. 1144, 1144. Chapter 1144. Xuanguang Deity, Borrowing Power. Lin Moyu looked at the two people, still motionless. Lin. Although the two were slightly stronger than Xiao Shiyuan, they were only at the 7th stage of the True God realm. In Lin Moyu's eyes, they were nothing. The two took out their magical treasures, two sharp swords gleaming with cold light. Judging by their aura, they were True God realm treasures. The swords slashed through the starry sky, carrying a cold light, and landed on Lin Moyu. The skeletal armor reappeared, this time with some fluctuations and slight cracks, but it still did not shatter. The two were frozen in place, experiencing the same fate as Xiao Shiyuan. However, since their cultivation was one stage higher, their situation was much better than Xiao Shiyuan's, and their injuries were much lighter. The three of them were terrified, not understanding what was happening. Although they were from the great world and had extensive knowledge of it, they couldn't immediately connect it to spell linkage. Hidden in the dark, Zhu Qiwu's eyelids twitched several times.
Defensive spell linkage. This brat doesn't just have one multi-star spell.
Zhu Qiwu had previously only known about Lin Moyu's summoning spells, which were multi-star spells. Having one multi-star spell was already rare. Unexpectedly, Lin Moyu had a second multi-star spell, and it was a defensive one. Not only was its defense strong, but its counterattack power was also not weak. With a 4th-stage True God cultivation, he could withstand a 6th-stage True God's attack and instantly severely injure a 6th-stage True God. If it were a 5th-stage True God, they might have been killed instantly. Xiao Shiyuan and the others trembled all over, their bodies becoming a battlefield for two laws, causing them immense pain. He shakily extended his bloodied hand, his arm full of holes and almost half severed. With great difficulty, he controlled his arm to press a jade token at his waist and crushed it. The jade token shattered, releasing a brilliant light. A figure emerged from the light, wearing a dark robe, with skin glowing with a mysterious light, and each hair shining like stars in the night sky. The Xuanguang deity looked down at Xiao Shiyuan, a flash of anger in his eyes.
Who dares to bully my grandson?
Xiao Shiyuan cried out.
Grandfather, save me.
He was in so much pain that he couldn't even faint. His body felt like it was about to explode, with the laws constantly clashing. The Xuanguang deity pointed a finger, and a light fell on Xiao Shiyuan. intending to use his own laws to dispel Lin Moyu's laws. Xiao Shiyuan let out a scream. The Xuanguang deity's power was strong, but no matter how strong, it still used his body as a battlefield. Although the undying law was strong, it was only at the true god realm and was no match for the Xuanguang deity. The undying law was quickly expelled, and the pill Xiao Shuan had taken earlier finally took effect, starting to heal his wounds. Unfortunately, due to the previous clash, the pill's effect was greatly reduced, and the healing was slow. Xiao Shuyuan took out a few more pills, swallowing one himself and giving the other two to his companions. The pain subsided, and Xiao Shuan breathed a sigh of relief, feeling like he had escaped death. The Xuanguang deity, seeing that his grandson was fine, asked,
"What happened?"
Xiao Shuyuan pointed at Lin Moyu, filled with killing intent.
"Grandfather, kill him for me."
The Xuanguang deity looked at Lin Moyu and, seeing that he was human, did not act immediately. Instead, he asked in a deep voice,
"Did you injure my grandson?"
Lin Moyu shook his head.
"I didn't touch him. He attacked me and was injured by my spell's counterattack. Is that so?"
The Xuanguang deity turned to Xiao Shuyuan and asked sternly,
"Tell the truth, is that what happened?"
Xiao Shuyuan trembled and stammered,
"I did attack first, but..." "Enough!"
The Xuanguang deity interrupted Xiao Shuyuan with a low shout. Xiao Shuyuan immediately shut his mouth, not daring to speak. It was clear that Xiao Shuyuan was very afraid of his deity grandfather. The Xuanguang deity looked at the other two.
"Tell me what happened, without any lies." "Yes, sir."
The two were the Xuanguang deity's disciples and did not dare to disobey his orders. They recounted the events objectively and fairly. Lin Moyu indeed did not attack. They were only injured by the spell's counterattack. Lin Moyu thought to himself,
"It seems the Xuanguang deity is reasonable and doesn't favor his grandson."
In just a few words, Lin Moyu had a rough understanding of the Xuanguang deity's character. He might be a bit domineering, but that was understandable for a deity. However, he was not unreasonable. When he saw that Lin Moyu was human, his aura clearly weakened. It made sense. To be friends with the Night Wind deity, he couldn't be an unreasonable person. The Xuanguang deity understood the whole situation and sternly ordered Xiao Shuyuan,
"You three, return immediately and do not linger outside."
The three of them turned pale, knowing they would be punished when they returned. The Xuanguang deity then looked at Lin Moyu, his gaze lingering for 2 seconds before looking into the void behind Lin Moyu.
"Xuanguang greets Guardian Zhu."
Zhu Qiwu revealed himself from the starry sky, his face serious and stern as usual. He even exuded a faint pressure, clearly showing his high status. Zhu Qiwu looked at the Xuanguang deity.
"Long time no see, Xuanguang. Your cultivation has improved again."
The Xuanguang deity sighed.
"Compared to you, Guardian Zhu, my progress is insignificant. This matter was Xiao Shuyuan's fault. I apologize on his behalf."
The apology was just words, not meant to be taken seriously. A deity wouldn't truly apologize to a true god like Lin Moyu. If it were an unreasonable deity, they might have killed Lin Moyu on the spot in this lawless place. Lin Moyu smiled.
"Senior, you're too kind. It was just a misunderstanding. Your grandson was just infatuated and will understand when he returns."
The Xuanguang deity frowned, sensing that Lin Moyu's words hinted at something more. Xiao Shuyuan hadn't mentioned the reason for the conflict, only that it was with Lin Moyu. Since he didn't say it, Lin Moyu helped him out. No need to elaborate. Just a hint was enough for the Xuanguang deity to understand. Xiao Shuyuan's face turned even paler, looking worse. From Xiao Shuyuan's reaction, the Xuanguang deity guessed that his grandson had hidden something from him. He snorted and turned to Zhu Qiwu.
"Guardian Zhu, I must take my leave. Let's have tea and chat another time."
Zhu Qiwu nodded.
"All right."
The Xuanguang deity waved his hand, enveloping the three in a brilliant light, and they shot into the depths of the starry sky at an astonishing speed. Before leaving, Lin Moyu noticed the Xuanguang deity giving him a meaningful look. His eyes were calm, with a deep meaning that was hard to decipher. After they left, Lin Moyu said to Zhu Qiwu,
"Thank you, Senior, for letting me borrow your power."
Zhu Qiwu chuckled.
"I didn't do anything.
Lin Moyu laughed.
Just your presence was enough."
1145 Chapter 1145 Reciprocity Mysterious Iron Block. Lin Moyu was very clear that the reason the Xuanguang deity was so reasonable and spoke kindly to him was not only due to the deity's own character, but also because Zhu Qiwu was present. Lin. In fact, the Xuanguang deity had noticed Zhu Qiwu as soon as he arrived. That was why he treated Lin Moyu with such courtesy. Otherwise, he might have slapped him to death. Whether he could actually kill him was another matter. A deity's projection, with the combat power of a god king, still made Lin Moyu fearful. He could have used the powder of the abyssal dragon demon's second avatar's corpse to fight the Xuanguang deity to the death.
"You don't need to say that. It's just a deity's projection. You can handle it."
Zhu Qiwu smiled slightly, casting a meaningful glance. It seemed to say,
"Others may not know you, but do you think I don't?"
Lin Moyu remained humble.
"In any case, with you here, the Xuanguang deity was willing to reason with me."
Zhu Qiwu pondered for a second.
"Actually, Xuanguang is a decent person, just too indulgent with his grandson. Fortunately, you didn't kill him, otherwise it would have been troublesome."
Lin Moyu asked curiously,
"Does the Xuanguang deity have only one grandson?"
Zhu Qiwu laughed.
"Not at all. Xuanguang's family is quite large, with many descendants. He just values Xiao Shuyuan because of his talent." "No wonder,"
Lin Moyu said with a smile. No wonder Xiao Shuyuan had the protective jade token from the Xuanguang deity. As he knew, deities spread their bloodlines widely, taking multiple wives and having many children. This was to ensure the continuation of the deity's bloodline. Normally, a deity would have 10 or 8 daughters, and even more grandchildren. Some deities had hundreds or even thousands of descendants, forming families of tens of thousands, which was quite normal. The further the lineage went, the lower the concentration of the deity's bloodline. For a deity's children, achieving the God-King realm was not difficult, but becoming a deity was still challenging. As for the grandchildren, even achieving the God-King realm could be problematic. But with many descendants, there would always be 1 or 2 geniuses who could become deities again. However, with so many descendants, it was impossible to care for each one. Generally, it was difficult for descendants to even meet the Xuanguang deity. Only those with strong talent, like Xiao Shuyuan, would receive the deity's attention and even be given protective jade tokens. At the same time, being valued by the Xuanguang deity came with expectations for their cultivation. If Xiao Shuyuan's performance was poor and he couldn't inherit the legacy, he would eventually be abandoned. Such families were common among the human race. It wasn't cruel. It was just reality. In the family, one could talk about affection, but outside, facing other races, only strength mattered. Lin Moyu returned to the forward base and then teleported back to Fortress Number 5. Zhu Qiwu did not follow him back. They had parted ways at the forward base. They didn't exchange a word or say goodbye. Lin Moyu was grateful to the senior who guarded the Vermilion Bird battlefield. Although Zhu Qiwu initially protected him secretly on the orders of Domain Lord Zhu Tian, he later openly protected him, solving some troubles for him. Otherwise, just dealing with the Abyssal Dragon Demon's second avatar would have been a big problem, and it was uncertain if he could have escaped unscathed.
"Hey, junior brother Lin, you're back too."
Su Jianxing's voice interrupted Lin Moyu's thoughts. Turning his head, he saw Su Jianxing walking over slowly. He was still as graceful as ever, like a refined gentleman. Lin Moyu already knew that Su Jianxing was not from the Vermilion Birdstar region, but had come out from the Divine City for training. His demeanor was different from others, which Lin Moyu had noticed the first time he met Su Jianxing. At that time, he found it strange, thinking Su Jianxing was a descendant of a prominent family, but he didn't have the arrogance typical of such descendants. Later, he learned that Su Jianxing was from the Divine City. This made Lin Moyu yearn for the human race's Divine City. Lin Moyu smiled.
Senior brother Su, did you find the essence fire?
Su Jianxing sighed.
I found a 6-colored essence fire but lost the fight.
He seemed a bit regretful. However, Su Jianxing remained cheerful, not disheartened even after losing the fight. Lin Moyu asked,
Didn't you continue searching?
Su Jianxing didn't hide anything.
I got injured and was targeted by other races, so I returned for safety. It's no big deal. I'll go back after breaking through to the God King realm.
Lin Moyu asked,
How many more 6-colored essence fires do you need?
Su Jianxing held up 2 fingers.
2 more. It's not too hard to find, but not too easy either.
Fortunately, it's 6-colored essence fire, not like the 7-colored essence fire needed by the green sword Taoist. Lin Moyu had 3 7-colored essence fires, all prepared for Yuxingru. As for 6-colored essence fires, he had 42. Moved by a thought, Lin Moyu took out a storage device.
Senior brother Su, this is for you. What's this?
Su Jianxing took it with some doubt. After checking, his pupils shrank, and he was slightly shocked, his breathing quickening.
6-colored essence fire.
In the essence fire source, 5-colored to 7-colored essence fires could be born. Most were 5-colored essence fires with a few 6-colored essence fires. The rare 7-colored essence fires were hard to come by. Su Jianxing had gone to the essence fire source to find 6-colored essence fires. He found one but lost the fight and got injured. Originally, he planned to return after healing and breaking through to the God King realm. Unexpectedly, Lin Moyu directly gave him 2 6-colored essence fires. After hesitating for a few seconds, Su Jianxing returned the storage device to Lin Moyu.
Junior brother Lin, keep it for yourself. I can find more.
Lin Moyu didn't take it back, smiling.
No need to be polite, senior brother Su. My spells have all been elevated, and 6-colored essence fires are useless to me.
6-colored essence fires weren't rare treasures. Even if he didn't use them, selling them could fetch a lot of points. But Lin Moyu gave them to him directly, and Su Jianxing wasn't one to hesitate.
Then I won't be polite. Thank you, junior brother Lin.
Su Jianxing said cheerfully, putting away the 6-colored essence fires, and took out something to give to Lin Moyu.
This is something I obtained during a mission in the Divine City, from a secret realm. I felt it was extraordinary but couldn't figure it out after years of research. This time, I'll give it to you as a return gift. I hope you won't refuse.
Reciprocity. Lin Moyu didn't refuse and accepted the item from Su Jianxing. The extraordinary item Su Jianxing mentioned was a square metal block. It looked like iron but also like gold, glowing with golden light. Sometimes it appeared copper yellow, sometimes silver white. From different angles and at different times, it showed completely different colors. When Lin Moyu touched the metal block, the infinite fusion spell star in his soul world jumped violently. 1146, 1146.